What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of FOREX Beginner Podcast. It's your boy Calvin here. Today we have a special guest in the building. He has arguably one of the best trading podcasts out there in terms of if you really want to know what it's like to trade, if you want to be motivated, if you really want to get just killer nuggets on what needs to be done to obtain consistent growth as a trader. Desire to Trade podcast is definitely at the top tier of those podcasts. And today's guest is the host, the creator, the founder of that podcast, Mr. Etienne Craig. What's going on, Etienne? How you feeling, brother?
Appreciate it. Good to be here. Of course, happy to deliver some value, as always.
Yes, man. You do a lot of that. Now, I kind of want to set the stage here, Etienne, because, I've been reaching out to you quite a few times since I started interviewing people because I wanted to have you on the show because you have been able to be a profitable trader. And when you look at how you live your life, you don't live your life with cars and jewelry and houses, but you live your life doing the thing that we all truly want from trading, which is to live a life of freedom. No worries. You can travel, you can go, you can enjoy, meet people. So I really want to dig into that because I believe that as a new beginner trader, traders are looking for freedom. They're not looking for cars. They're not looking for jewelry. They want freedom. They want to be able to live life, love their family, enjoy the people that they grew up with or enjoy the people that they're currently living with. That's truly what we want. So how are you able to sustain and just build a life of freedom through the markets? Like, can you take us from the beginning of your journey?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is having the right organization, like the right framework to like how you invest your money and how you manage your money to be able to have freedom. But basically, I started trading back in 2013, which is a long time ago. And I just kind of wanted to see if I could make some money trading. So I went in the market, tried trading for a while. I couldn't make it work for the first few years. In the first 2 years, I basically like didn't do anything. I lost money for the first 2 years. Then I ended up kind of wanting to. So long story short, I went to Hong Kong to study. I did a student exchange there for 6 months, and it kind of showed me how like what I was on before, like just the working, going to work, going to school at that time, university, coming back, working at the same time. It just wasn't like a fulfilling way to live life. To me, that sounded like very boring when I went to Hong Kong because then I realized like how things were different. I could travel every weekend. I could go to different places. I was a student, like I didn't do anything else, so it was good in that sense. So I could travel and do things, but it showed me that there was a lot of other stuff than just working and kind of being in a job. So I came back home from that student exchange, from that trip. I started to get more serious about trading. For me, that was the way that I focused on to make money at the time because that was the only way I knew I could make money if I did it right, of course. So I got a mentor, got a coach. Over the next about 6 months to a year, that's when I became profitable. And that's when I had my first kind of profitable year. So that's kind of when it started all. Then I saw that I needed to be around more traders, right? So what helped me the most to get results was to be around traders. I started going to meetups, meet other traders in person, people that were doing the thing I want to do, people at the same level that were just kind of working hard to get to that goal. I found that this was the big key for me is to be able to be around people who do the same thing, who had good results. Then I started a podcast because I want to be able to talk to more traders that way. Same thing like what you're doing is talking to traders that way. And that's what helped me the most. So I would like every week reach out to people, get in a call with them, ask them questions. Sometimes things I struggle with, sometimes things that didn't have any common like thing to struggle with, but just to get the sense of like how I could improve. And talking with these people helped me a lot to become a better trader. So in about 6 months to a year, I became profitable. I started to talk to more traders, started to kind of find ways to also scale up my capital and got capital from an investor at that time. Prop firms didn't exist back in 2016 or so. So I had to kind of find a way to get more capital to go full time. And that's when I started to travel and kind of never look back.
I love it. So there's a lot to pull out right here. Now, the first thing is a lot of traders that are watching this, they have that desire, like the name of your podcast, Desire to Trade. A lot of traders watching right now, we have that desire. We want to do this. Now, when you were just getting into trading, when you went on YouTube and you searched Forex or you searched day trading, there was a difference between what you saw then and what you see now. So can you kind of just share like what type of exposure did you see when you first started to look at day trading and look at what the typical lifestyle could be for you?
I mean, I feel like you had a few guys on YouTube. A few of these guys who are still around these days are not popular at all. Like they have maybe like 30,000 subscribers and that's it. Compared to the guys who are popular these days, it's a whole different story. There were, I think, more 1 or 2 podcasts at that time, and nothing much of the sort. So really, you could learn to trade. You could do it well. I feel like there was a lot less crap and a lot less like BS advice out there. At the same time, it was kind of hard to find what you needed. So it was a few key guys I think that were there to teach, and that was about it. But yeah, it changed a lot definitely.
Okay. Now, when you first made a decision that, hey, like this is what I want to do, like me going to school, working, like that's not fulfilling for me. What were the necessary steps? Like the next step from, okay, I want to do this, I want to trade. What was that next step that you had to take? Like, was it investing in a particular mentor, trading program? Like, what was that jump for you?
I think yes. First step was getting profitable, right? Because I was trading for the past maybe 2 years and a half
Mm-hmm.
with no results. I was just like taking trades. My account was to go up and down, not necessarily losing money a lot, but mostly break even. So how do you get around that? Well, so I had to find a way to do it. First things first is I got to kind of meet traders. So I went to meetups that were in my city, Montreal, with other traders. That exposed me to guys who were trading full time, guys who worked in banks, a bunch of other like, traders who were kind of doing this full time. From there, I got in touch with a guy who traded for a bank before. I got him to coach me. He was just leaving his job at the bank. He was able to like focus more on his own business at the time. So he was able to kind of coach me, teach me a few things. Not a lot about technical analysis, but a lot about mindset. So how traders kind of had to deal with the mindset, with losing trades, with losing streaks, much of the stuff that way. So that's really what helped me the most at that time.
Okay, perfect. Now you kind of went into my next question, which was, what do you think is more important? Is it a mindset of a trader or is it the technicals? Now you kind of went into that, but after all these years of experience, what do you think personally? What's the biggest investment that traders need to make in themselves? Is it more technical or is it more mindset and discipline?
I think both are equal. You cannot have one without the other. Like sure, you can have a good mindset and a bad strategy, but you won't get good results. Or you can have a really bad mindset and a good strategy, but you won't get results either. So you got to have both at the same level or a decent level to be able to make money. So it's hard to tell one better than the other one because you got to have both.
One question that I get asked all the time, and I'm going to answer it right now so you don't have to go in the comment section and ask it again. Calvin, how are you trading in the market? How are you participating in the foreign exchange market? Well, there's three ways that I'm using. One way has been traditionally using Forex prop firms. Now, I got funded with my first prop firm account back in 2021. That was actually my second year of trading. I was still learning, just developed my new scalping strategy, and I was able to get funded with the prop firm $100,000 in simulated prop firm capital. Simulated meaning it's a demo account. However, you get paid on any profits that you make using those simulated/demo accounts. Now, if that's something that you're interested in, check out Blue Guardian. Blue Guardian has this amazing tool called the Guardian Protector. And what the Guardian Protector does is it allows you to set limits in the market, even if you don't set a stop loss. Even before you even take a trade, you can set limits in the market. Log onto your account, go in your back office, set these limits. They can be dollar amount limits or they can be percentage limits, so that once you hit those limits in your trades, it's going to automatically take you out and it gives you the opportunity to live to trade another day. Also, when it comes to trading my personal account, I utilize a offshore broker and a US regulated broker. Now, the bulk of my money is in the US regulated broker, but I do put a couple $100 in a offshore broker, a non-US regulated broker, and the broker that I use is 24K Markets. What I like about 24K Markets so far is the quick withdrawals. I was able to take a withdrawal last week and the deposit hit my account in like 45 minutes. Also, being able to utilize the platform Trade Locker with 24K Markets allows me to trade from my cell phone as well as my computer or tablet, and literally I can drag and drop my take profit, drag and drop my stop loss. Very, very easy to use and to manage risk as well. And before we get back to the interview, please remember trading involves extreme risk. So number one, make sure you're never investing money that you need to live your life, money that you're depending on to survive. Number two, make sure you have a trading plan. Make sure you have tested your strategy, you have the data. Number three, make sure you're practicing discipline, patience, and number four, let the money come to you. Don't run behind trades. Let the setups come to you. Let's get back to the interview. Now, what has been like your biggest struggles on your journey as you got into trading? You're now profitable. You're now managing money. Somewhere along the journey, we have moments. Well, some of us have moments where we kind of like go down a losing streak, or maybe we hit drawdown or something like that. Have you had any moments in your journey where you were successful and then you had a moment in the middle where it's kind of like a little crisis or mental, blockages or something like that? Have you ever faced that?
Had a lot of these. Yeah, so many of these. Not big moments, but like they happen from time to time. So the first one was when I went full time. So I basically I traded at home for a while. I was profitable. Things were great. I was at university. I was for some time trading at home, like not having any making some money at home, basically trading. Then I decided to travel. Like so, I bought a ticket to go to Shanghai for a few months. I went to China, traveled around China for a few months. But just like getting a new place, like a new country, you got to pay for your living expenses, your bills. There's a lot of stuff happening, and then you got to trade like the time difference too at the same time. So then I hit the drawline at that point, and not because my strategy was bad, but because I made mistakes, and then I started to not have enough trades. So then I realized, oh, I gotta kind of do something about it. So I started trading more time frames, added like the daily chart, added like the forward chart, or whatever other time frame I added at the time, other pairs. Then I started to lose money at that time because I added too many things to my portfolio. I kind of went in too fast without any back test or any test. That was the first one. Then over time, as I scaled up, there was other challenges that way. Whenever I had like really good run with more capital, I would tend to like stop trading for a while. I would try to avoid trades because I had a good run. I didn't want to lose it. So those are things I had to work on over time.
So can you talk about your style of trading now? Obviously, you're full-time traveling. You're always in a different place. You're doing podcasts. Podcast has grown significantly, still growing. How are you trading now?
So I trade mostly swing. I swing trade forex primarily. I trade manually only on the daily chart since this year. So I moved everything to daily charts since 2024. I trade algos on lower time frames. So these run automatically. From the strategies I traded manually before, they just coded and basically run all the time. On the forward chart, the 1 hour chart. So most of what I do is swing. It's hard time frame, mostly daily, but still have some algos on lower time frame a little bit.
Awesome. And currently, are you still managing capital for investors, or is everything just your personal capital?
My personal capital now. Yeah, I moved to my personal capital.
Okay. So speaking on when you started managing capital for other people, because at that point you said it was what, like 2016, and there wasn't really prop firms around yet. How did you even go about getting an investor? Was that a family friend, someone you knew, or did you just take your results and just started meeting people?
Yeah, fun story. So from that meetup I went to, I got my coach from there, and then eventually I met this guy who came at the meetup like once in a while. He wanted to kind of learn trading. He was a really good investor, but a really bad trader. Like he couldn't trade for himself. He wanted to be able to trade, and then we just kind of started to talk. Over time, I started to kind of give him a few tips over time. And then one day he offered me to go meet him at his office. So I went to meet him for just a coffee, like a quick chat. And then right there, he offered me capital to trade for. He says like, "Oh, I'll give you like $7,000. You try it out. If it works, then that's good. If it doesn't work, that's fine. But just try it out." I say, "You sure?" Kind of went on with it because I was profitable at that time, so I knew I could kind of get some good returns in that. So I traded for a while. He didn't even look at my results. He just gave me the capital right away like this. And then I started to trade it, had some decent returns. Started to like trade really low at first, like really low size, to adjust that bigger account. I was trading maybe with like $5,000 back then, or maybe $10,000. Then I went on to like 70,000 right away. So I had to kind of just slowly like go up with the risk per trade very slowly, and started to make good returns for him. So that's kind of how it started.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. As you look back on your journey now, what has it been, like 12 years now that you've been doing this trading?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
11 years. Yeah.
Oh, boom. Okay. 11 years, right? As you look back on your journey and you look at everything you've done as far as growing as a trader, and then you look at now with the podcast and being able to mentor and teach other traders that are like myself, that are coming up, that are either new beginner or developing, working and building on their profitability. As you look at all of that experience, what would be, let's say, 3 things that you would say to somebody that is on their journey right now?
First thing is you got to be around more traders. You got to be around people who do what you want to do. And it could be like, of course, coaches and all that stuff, but it could just be people you meet. Like you could just send emails to people around your area that trade, that you know trade or that you find online, and then they could just like meet you and have a coffee or something, and then you get good results out of that. That's the first thing. It's very simple to do that. Second thing is you gotta also find your own way, right? Because a lot of people are gonna try to like pick a strategy online, try to trade it right away, get good results with it. It could work for a while, but I think over time you gotta find like what works for you, and you kind of have to develop your own way. You have to become the master at it. It's good to have a coach who tells you what to trade, but you got to eventually kind of tweak it to make it your own and have good results that way. And third thing is you got to have a plan to scale up. I think it's important to, like, people have this conception of like, I'm going to trade, I'm going to take some good trades, be profitable, then I'll be able to cover my expenses. And that's not kind of true. Like there's a lot of step between that. You got to scale up. You got to manage your money properly. You got to invest in the right things to be able to get to a point where you have a income from trading and you're able to cover your expenses. Because trading income is going to be like up and down. It's never going to be like exactly the same every month. So you got to have a plan to kind of make that smooth and cover your expenses over time.
That's well said. Well said. Now I kind of want to get into like just personally for you, what are some goals that you personally have for yourself, the business, the podcast? Share that with us.
I mean, my goals have always been to kind of try things out for my own trading. Of course, I want to grow my account. I want to get to a level where I can make even more returns from it. That's like obvious. But I want to also find ways to kind of make things easier for people. It's kind of cool when I can try something out that works for me. Then I can teach it to people and tell them like what to do to get results faster. So a lot of what I've done in the past year, for example, is like coding indicators that I use for my own trading, like just kind of coding my rules into an indicator that I can just like go with and execute easily. Then I give it to people and they have good results with it. And that's kind of cool to see. So that's the first thing, is to be able to find ways to simplify the process for people, kind of helping them get profitable faster, easier. Using technology too to do that. I think it's a good way to use the new technology coming up to find ways to become to have good to have better results. So I just want to work on that. It's kind of cool to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really, really cool. As you look at the returns that you've been able to get over your years of being profitable, there are some traders right now that are looking at this and saying, okay, if I want to day trade, what's a realistic annual return that I could see if I become profitable? Now, I've interviewed quite a few people, and we have people that have the mindset of, just flipping accounts. And we have other people that are very, very conservative that I've had on the show and that have said, hey, if you can get 8 to 10% a year, you're exactly where you need to be. You just need to work on getting more capital. What would you say, Etienne, to a trader that's wondering what's realistic for me?
I mean, whatever makes sense to you. I think if you want to go the way of flipping accounts, that's good. A lot more stressful, in my opinion. I wouldn't do it that way, personally. But that's just me. Like, I prefer to aim for maybe lower return, maybe not like a 10% a year, maybe more than that. But I want to be able to kind of have that on and not really worry about it too much. I want to be able to go out and enjoy my day, not force things too much. To me, that's success, is being able to have good returns. Then you can just increase the capital from there. You increase your account month by month, and you get to a level where you're happy with, and you have good returns for the returns you make in the market.
Love it. What are some money management tips that you can give to traders that are working a job right now, or maybe they have a business and they're looking to get into trading, may not want to go full-time right now, but definitely want to trade part-time and possibly make a full-time income? Are there any, like money management things that you did when you were kind of transitioning in order to build capital for your trading account?
Yeah, definitely. First thing is you gotta be able to save some of your money every month. So whenever I get a paycheck from a job or something, I would take let's say 60% of my expenses. Then the rest I would invest into either like some investing, like longer term stuff. I have a big account with like a portfolio of like stocks and ETFs and stuff. That is just like good to keep a buffer. It's good just good because if a month is more account trading, yeah, that buffer for like for your paycheck, for your income. Then you can invest into these things. You can invest also. I take part of it to invest like more actively, either into like, first it was only my education. I want to build an account, but I had no results in trading to build an account. So I just took that money, invest into like a coach, education, like being able to get to level I'm happy with. And now what I do is I take that money and I put into either coaches still or into my account. So I grow my account every month that way with income from other stuff. So it's a very easy way to build your account over time. People think they're just going to have to fund the account like in one time, one shot, but it's actually easier to build it over time, step by step, smaller amount by smaller amount as you go forward.
I totally agree. Now, you just mentioned something that was just powerful for me because I believe in coaching. I believe in always growing and advancing yourself. So like someone could be looking at you as like, hey man, you're doing it, Etienne. You're traveling, you're trading, you're inspiring the world. Why are you still investing money into coaching? So what would you say to somebody that's saying that right now?
Well, because as you go forward, the goals change. The goal in the beginning is to get profitable. Then the goal now is not to get profitable, is to actually either scale up or is to like build something different or kind of learn a new style of trading. So as you have bigger goals now, you got to have better coaches to achieve those goals. So the same way you got into coaches and courses when you were trying to get profitable, and now you try to get something even bigger. So you should have courses to be able to get there. Unless you want to stay at the same level, which I'm not really after. I don't really want to stay at the same level forever. Then you should have a coach to move forward.
Love it. Love it. If you could think of maybe 2 or 3 interviews that you've done that have personally just really just like shook you or gave you such inspiration on your journey, what 3 interviews would that be?
And that's a tough one, because it's so hard when you have a lot of people like this and you want to pick their favorite child or something. But yeah, definitely, there's been a lot of them. The guys who are able to run a business while they trade, to me, that was inspiring. People being able to travel around the world, maintain trading, to me, that was inspiring. People who are able to build big accounts over time, like not like unrealistically, like put all the money into one account, or necessarily like try to get rich from like D0 or something. But people who go there over time and build a big lifestyle, like you see them over the years, get to like they started like very new to it, then they kind of start to get profitable. Then 5 years later, they have a big account and they trade with it. To me, that's very inspiring for me. There was one with Nevin Pritani a few years back where we kind of met up in Bangkok. That was pretty cool. Ray Barras is the other one. So whenever you meet traders in person, it's different than like online or something. There's like a different connection or something that happens then. Ray Barras, who's in Hong Kong managing a big fund, got a lot of good advice from him. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but there's a few of them that are really good.
Yeah, yeah. I also loved your one with Mike from SMB from the first one you did with him. Yeah, like where you asked him what are the characteristics of a successful trader, and he kind of went down the timeline of like the progress. That was an amazing interview. I often go back to that one as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, if there's anything that you would want a trader, like if this is their first and last time hearing from Etienne, like what message would you want to leave with anybody watching right now?
If you have a goal for any kind of lifestyle that you want to live, then you should go after it. Doesn't matter what people say, what people think is like okay or not okay, or risky or not risky. You should just go for it. And I think you should take the step that you need to get there. That's it.
I love it. Definitely let us know where we can follow you, anything you got going on that's helping traders, and definitely plug the podcast. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean, Desire to Trade is where it's all at. So there's a podcast, there's YouTube, there's a website too where we have some free content there, free tools. So Desire to Trade, people can find everything there.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Calvin here, my man Etienne Kret from the Desire to Trade podcast, dropping some knowledge on us on how he has been able to become a trader that is profitable, that is traveling the world, that is living life on his own terms, and has run a successful business, podcast, reaching the world. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are inspired by this, if you are encouraged by this, definitely go check out Desire to Trade podcast. And with that being said, I look forward to running into you at the bank one day, but you cannot meet me there. You got to beat me there. When I pull up to the bank, you should already be walking out, duffel bag on your shoulder, big smile on your face. That's my way of saying I believe we all are going to be successful. Till next time, God bless you. Take care. Peace.